What up, people? What up, YouTube? Warm-ups. Mama. Meow, meow, meow. Okay. I actually wrote notes because I'm so serious about this. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Seasons of Lynn. Actually, come a little bit closer. Yeah, right there. Let me tell you what my channel is all about. This is my newly resurrected YouTube channel where I talk about all things international, from travel to living, working, and studying abroad. I'll also share some DIY stuff around home decoration and home improvement, and then lastly I will also sprinkle some lifestyle advice and tips, mostly around healthy living and being financially independent, and hopefully eventually being able to retire early, hence the YouTube channel. Everyone's trying to be FIRE, financially independent and retire early. That is the movement, y'all. Anyway, now that you know what my channel is about, if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you're still hesitating, let me just tell you, I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of people watching my video, y'all. This is not a joke. YouTube is not playing games. If you want to be able to be successful on YouTube, you have to get the numbers. You have to have good content and attract the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours. So I really need all of your help to build my channel. If you think that you want to support a girl like me on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button and watch this video all the way to the end. Help me get those 4,000 watch hours by also going and watching my previous video. Somewhere around here there should be a button. Definitely make sure that you hit that button and subscribe. Right on the top of the screen on this side there should be an I button. Click on that button after you watch this video and check out all my other videos. I'm going to try and be very consistent and post videos every week. So definitely help a girl make some moolah on YouTube, y'all. So in today's video I will be talking about how I won and then lost the H1B visa. This is something very real that happened in my life. I want this video to be helpful because when I was going through this very difficult situation of losing my H1B visa, I turned to YouTube. I did not see the resources that I needed to help me go through this situation or just a story that I could relate to. So I really hope this video will be useful. So any questions you have as you're watching the video, comment down below. Any advice that you may have, anything that I say that may not be completely correct, comment down below. We are all learning. We all have to help each other grow and learn from each other. As an international student or a foreign worker, there's not that many resources, so we have to create our own resources. But before we get into that, I really just actually want to check in with everyone. I mean, we all know the elephant in the room. We all know what's happening in the world right now, COVID-19. How are you all doing? Are you doing okay? What are you doing during this time to protect your mental health? Because that time spent alone can be very, very, very gruesome for some people to their mental health. What are you doing to rest and relax and rejuvenate yourself during this period of time where we all have to kind of stay at home? I'm in New York. We're having so many cases and so many deaths. It's really, really unfortunate. My heart goes out to all those families who have been affected by the COVID-19 virus. My prayers are with you. I'm really enjoying this time. I can't lie to you all. I feel like this is literally the break every introvert has needed from the world. I'm an introvert, so I really use this time to focus on myself, my goals, and just building myself up. Hence me resurrecting this YouTube channel. Anyway, like I said, today's video will be about how I won and lost the H1B visa. For those of you who don't know what the H1B visa is, it's a work visa that allows American companies to employ foreigners to come and work for them. So it allows foreigners to basically come and work in America. You can apply for it when you're already in America, or you can apply for it from abroad. I applied when I was already in America because I was here on an F1 visa. I was on OPT with my employer who then filed for my H1B visa. Before sharing my experience, I just want to give a disclaimer. I am not an immigration attorney. I am not an immigration expert. I am just sharing with you my experiences as someone who was a recipient of the various immigration visas that I will talk about on my channel. So if you want professional advice, definitely seek a lawyer or some kind of immigration expert. So if you're a foreigner who's already working here, if you're a foreigner who's working abroad, if you're an international student here, if you're a student student abroad who's looking to come and work in America, if you're just an American who's curious to learn more about all the different visas that America offers to foreigners, maybe you have a non-American partner and you want to find out more about their options to be able to migrate to the US, definitely watch this video because I'm going to share how I won and I lost the visa. I am going to give you very useful tips for being able to hopefully successfully apply for a H1B visa. So as I mentioned, I applied for my H1B from the US. I was here on the F1 visa and I was actually on OPT at the time that I filed my H1B visa. If you don't know what all these terms are, don't worry about it. I'll be doing a follow-up video explaining what the H1B basics are, and I'll also be doing a follow-up video explaining your options when you lose the H1B visa. So I was very privileged when I was at OPT. I actually, that was a whole other story because I got hired and then I got an offer rescinded because of my OPT status. That employer did not want to sponsor a H1B visa. I had to try and find another job. You have 3 months to find a job when you're an OPT as an international student. It has to be within your field. At that point, I'd already used up 2 months, I think. So I had like 1 month left to secure a job in my field that would hopefully sponsor a H1B visa. And I was very, very fortunate to get hired by this amazing nonprofit. I was living in DC at this time. So I got very, very lucky to be hired by this amazing nonprofit, and they, from the get-go, I knew that they were willing to sponsor my H1B visa. They had actually done this the previous year for another employee who had successfully received the H1B visa. So I was very, very happy that everything just seemed to fall into place. I literally got a job offer rescinded, and I went back to them, I asked them if I could resume with my interview, and they hired me. And they sponsored my H1B visa. If you want to hear the story about my OPT struggle and finding a job that would sponsor a H1B visa, definitely comment down below. I'm happy to talk about that more. So just a little bit on how the process works. My H1B application process officially started end of December, beginning of January. Oh, I must say that I filed for the 2018 fiscal year. So I was filing 2016-2017. So in December 2016, I began to put all my documents together with a lawyer that my employer got. They paid for the attorney. And the attorney basically sent me all the things I need to put together for my H1B application. So I put everything together for the application in December and January, so that by the time that April came around, at this time it wasn't this registration system that I'm seeing is new for fiscal year 2021. At this time, you would actually just put up your application beginning of April. So by the time April came around, because of this amazing attorney, we were more than ready. We had everything set out, so we applied as soon as the application opened. The time that you put in your application matters. Why does it matter? It's a lottery, so the faster that your application gets in, the faster it's selected. They accept applications up until a certain date. It's for your advantage to have your visa in on time. So in April, my application was put in, and then there was a lottery. The H1B visa is almost like the diversity visa for those of you who are familiar with the diversity visa. It's a lottery system. There's 85,000 applications given out each year. 20,000 of those applications are only for persons with master's degrees and higher, so that's how the lottery begins. They do the first 20,000 selected applicants who have a master's degree and above, and then they put all the rest who didn't make it in that 20,000, the masters and higher, into the other pool, the 65,000, which is for persons with bachelor's degree and higher. So I got really fortunate, y'all. I got selected. I don't know if I got selected in the master's pool or the bachelor's pool, but I got selected and I was overjoyed. It's a lottery system. I think that year there were 210,000 applications. I will never forget that number. That means that 125,000 people got rejected. I was one of the 85,000 people selected. Well, I think they select a little bit more so that they end up with 85,000 applications exactly. But y'all, I got selected. I won a lottery, a once-in-a-lifetime lottery. I was so happy. It was such a good time in my life. I remember telling my parents, and they were all excited. And I also had to tell my team that I worked with at my office, so they knew the process that I was going through, and they were all really, really excited for me. Once you're selected for the lottery, that's usually the hardest bit. So once you're selected, the rest is meant to be smooth sailing. Or so I thought. So around a month after I was notified that I was selected in the lottery, I think we had to put in additional documents. This part is a bit of a blur, but your lawyer will walk you through all this if you're going through this process. I just remember the next thing that came was the RFE.
RFE.
Those words, those initials, those acronyms. The word is acronym. I will never forget those acronyms. Request for explanation. I had to explain something. Basically, they needed additional information, which is usually also okay. To be fair, it's usually not a big deal. So we got an RFE on basically proving that my job is a specialty occupation. What I should have mentioned in the beginning of this video is that the H1B visa is a specialty occupation visa. It means that it requires you to have a specialty or technical skill, which is required for that job, and that's why this American employer is hiring a foreigner rather than an American, essentially. Or that's how it had to be when some people became president. When we got the RFE, we had 3 months to respond to it. So during this time, I worked closely with my lawyer and HR for my employer to get all my documents together and basically to prove that my employer requires my particular degree, essentially, to carry out my type of work. The lawyer and my employer ended up putting together a lot of this. They had to prove that everyone else who was on my level at that specific nonprofit had the same qualifications as me and was making a similar salary to me, because salary is also a big thing when it comes to the H1B visa. You have to make a salary that is, by the Department of Labor standards, the kind of salary that you would make for that position. So you can't be getting underpaid to do a job in America. For those of you who think that we come and do cheap labor, it's not always like that, especially not for the H1B visa. So just so you all know, they had to prove, like I said, all my colleagues had the same qualifications as me. They also got a letter from like a professor at a top university confirming that persons with a master's in public administration, that's my master's, y'all, end up working in positions like that and for companies or nonprofits like the one that I worked for. So we submitted the documents of the RFE in August. Let me just explain the little nuances in between, because this is how I was able to keep working up until the end of September that year. So like I said, I applied in April. I think I got notified that I got picked in the lottery in May. And then I got the RFE probably a month later in June, and then we had up until August to hand in all the documents for the RFE. So during this time, technically my F1 visa did expire, so I went out of status. But if you are an OPT and you get selected for the H1B lottery, you automatically get this thing, I think called cap gap extension or something like that. So you are kind of like automatically protected to keep working up until the end of the fiscal year. So now I'm going to fast forward to September 31st because we did not hear anything at all up until that day. So I just remember being at work and knowing that I would not be able to come into work the next week because I did not have anything legal allowing me to work during this next fiscal year. I had to wait to get a response from USCIS on my application. So I'm patiently waiting on that day. I went through the day, you know, just knowing not coming back to work on Monday. It was that simple. It wasn't really a big deal. But for some reason, I was like, let me just go check USCIS and see if there's anything updated, because this is the last day of the fiscal year anyway. Maybe they would update something today. So I go to check USCIS. I see something like documents received, case request denied. Because what happens when you have an open visa application is called a case. So I was confused by what they meant by case denied. Did that mean that my RFE was denied? Did that mean that my whole case was denied? What did that mean? Y'all, it meant that everything was denied. The visa was denied. I was to leave this country in 3 months. I was in shock. It was a Friday. I remember this day so vividly. It was a Friday, end of the day. I went to the HR lady's office and I was just like, I think my visa got denied. I was shocked. I didn't even cry. I didn't go back to work the next Monday. I didn't go back to work for 3 weeks. I was strong when I finally went back to the office, but everyone was so shocked that I worked with. Like, people don't realize how kind of disruptive this can be for an organization. I had colleagues that were my friends. I was part of a team. I was doing great work for that organization. And out of nowhere, it was just all ripped away. Because of immigration and just the things that changed when the administration changed. That was right at the time when the new administration in America came in, and they aggressively went against not only illegal immigration, but also legal migration, including the H1B visa, and really made it very, very strict to qualify as a specialty occupation. It was emotional. People were crying. It was a really hard time. I had 3 months to leave. I did not know what I would do. I was just planning on moving back to Kenya. It was devastating, y'all, but I can tell you that I'm still in America. I moved back to New York. I figured it out. Thank God that there were doors that opened for me. God and the universe opened doors for me, and so I was able to switch to a different visa category. And so definitely make sure you watch that video I'm talking about that will come out after this video. What are your options after your H1B is denied? I will talk about different options that you have. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you know when I post that video. So my visa was denied because USCIS basically stated that my specific degree was not necessary to carry out the job that I was doing. This was a really professional organization. It's ranked one of the 50 best nonprofits to work for. Like I said, my employer filed for someone the year before, and that person qualified for the H1B visa. So it was really shocking that I was not approved for the H1B visa, even though I was selected in the lottery. It was a very credible company, so it was nothing to the credibility of the company or anything, or my credibility. I honestly think it was just the politics of the time and the administration change. And the reason why I can even say this confidently is because tons of visas were denied that year, much more than usual. I mean, within the current administration at this point, we're like 4 years into it, a lot of visas have gotten denied, a lot of H1B visas. So I feel a bit less hurt because I know that maybe it wasn't me, it feels a little bit good to know like it wasn't just me. That during that time I was devastated for sure. Like, all my friends are in America. I had lived here for so long, finished high school here, I had gone to college here, I was working here, I was so used to the lifestyle. So it was devastating, but like I said, everything is a blessing in disguise, y'all. I ended up being able to stay in the US. I just switched to a different employer and switched to a different visa category. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that this video was informative for any of you who might be going through the same situation. Maybe you're just going through a tough time, and this story is a true demonstration that everything happens for a reason. That is one of my biggest slogans in life. Everything happens for a reason. The reason why I did not get that H1B visa is because I was meant to come and work at my current job. I really feel like this was my destiny and true calling. I truly enjoy what I'm doing now, and it's more of where my passion area has always been. So once again, thanks for watching. Like I said, I will have a video up within the course of this week talking about what are your options when your H1B is denied. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when this video is up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay beautiful.